Micah, thanks for joining me. Appreciate you stopping by, spending a little time with me. I know you're busy with school, and it's good to have you at home come this freezing weekend in January. But thank you so much for stopping by. And I want to start with a little bit of scripture, and that it comes from 1 Samuel 16, verse 7. It says, "But the Lord said to Samuel, do not look on his appearance or on the height of his stature, because I have rejected him. For the Lord sees not as man sees, but man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart." I start with that scripture because this is a time where the prophet Samuel had come to anoint the next king. He's one of Jesse's sons. Wasn't sure which son. Jesse had a lot of sons. He runs them all out in front of Samuel. Samuel looks at the first one, and they said, "This surely has to be the one. He is tall, he's handsome, he's jacked, he's a good-looking guy," right? And the Lord says, "Nope, not that one." And so he says, "Well, get your next son." And ends up, Samuel the prophet goes through a bunch of his sons. Finally, he says, "Is this it? Jesse, do you have any more sons?" And Jesse says, "Yeah." He says, "There remains yet the youngest, but behold, he's keeping the sheep." Jesse's like, that's my youngest son. He's small. He's out keeping the sheep. Being a shepherd is not that big a deal. It's actually kind of menial work, and nobody looks real favorable at it. And so Samuel's like, "Go get him. I want to see him." And he comes, and it says that David was ruddy, which means he's a little red and tint. So he had beautiful eyes. He says, "This is the one." And so we go back to this thing of sometimes what we think is man is going to be the way in which God's going to do this. This is the way there's going to be a blessing, or it's the outward appearance. God never chooses the outward appearance. He looks at the heart of the man. I say that because, wow, isn't it amazing when you think about the gospel of Jesus Christ? Because God chose to use his son dying on a cross to save his people. And Isaiah 53:2 says, "He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him." So what man saw on the cross was, this isn't it. This isn't the way in which God's going to save his people. Can't be. Why am I starting out like this? Well, I want to take us back on a little bit of a journey. All right, let's go back to when you were 5. Where did you play when you were 5, and what was going on in the time of your life during those years of baseball, so to speak?
As much as playing at Oregon Park, I don't remember a whole lot about it, to be honest. But I do know that it was pretty intense for what 5-year-olds should be playing.
Coach Todd with the Angels.
Yeah, I've heard it's from what I've heard and partially what I remember, I feel like it was just a bit more than what a 5-year-old should be doing for baseball at the time. And played a season. I didn't enjoy it. I was like, no, I don't. I was like, y'all tried to get me. You and Mom tried to get me to keep playing. I was like, no, I'm not. No. Like every time, I just no, not playing baseball.
Yeah.
Because it was just like I had one bad experience, and it just kind of like it just made me like no. So I'm like, I just wanted to go play anything besides baseball.
Yeah, you stopped playing after that season, and then you tried flag football, soccer. I mean, you basketball, everything. Basketball, that's where you obviously got to play with Cole Abercrombie, the junior sarge at that time.
Oh, yeah.
But you know, it was a time where you look back and you go, man, the coach for that team was intense for a group of 5-year-olds. And you took time off. You didn't do it. You tried a lot of other things, which was great. And as a dad and a guy who played baseball, I knew one thing I needed to do, and that was to let you get bitten by the baseball bug. It's kind of like when they talk about working out. It's the same thing. You got to get bitten by the iron bug. If you really go in there and you work out and you start loving it, you're like, oh, I've got to have this. And baseball is one of those games, unless you get bitten by the bug, you're not going to want to play it. Because it's an everyday thing. It's lifestyle. It's not just a sport you play once a week or twice a week. It's every day. So I said, I'm going to take a step back, and we're not going to push you. You tried a lot of other sports. And then in your 11-year-old year, I never forget, your brother had been playing some baseball. You had seen it, and you're like, I might want to try this again. Tell me about your 11-year-old season. Where did you play? What position did you play? What was going on at that time?
Finally went back over to Oregon Park after I was watching Gavin play and spending some time there watching him when I wasn't playing, obviously.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of like this environment. I want to get back over here.
Yeah.
And so went back over there, tried out for a season for a fall, I believe, was the first season I played again.
Yep.
So I played fall 11U.
What was the name of our team?
It was like lightning or thunder or something
Thunder,
like that.
yeah, something like that.
I want to say it was thunder.
Yeah, we didn't really bring any thunder that season, did we?
No.
What happened that season?
that season was bad. It was. I'm honestly not sure if we won any games. If we did, it was maybe one.
I picked the team. It was your grandfather and I picked the team, and I was the coach. And you're right, we didn't win a game the entire regular season.
Yeah. And
then this was fantastic. The first game of the playoffs, we had no business beating this team. And I told our guys, I said, if we win, I want you to do something. We're going to dogpile in the middle of the field. Yep. What happened in that game? Do you remember just what took place, how we won, or maybe just winning, and then what happened afterwards?
So awful season, no wins. We're like, all right, last game of the season. Let's get this over with. Go out there, and we actually play not bad. Like, we actually gave it a valid effort for a team that was, I don't even know how many losses deep. And go out there. We're actually winning by the time we get, like, I think it was like the fifth inning, whatever, however many we played at Oregon Park at that age.
Mm-hmm.
And get down to the last inning. We got like 2 outs on the other team. We're playing defense. We just have to get one more out, finish this game. We're like, okay, we're getting there. We're so close. And I remember I was in right field, I believe, and the sun was like going down behind the home plate, so I couldn't really see where the ball was going. I hear a ping in the bat. I'm like, oh crap, where's that ball going? Now I hear someone's glove gave a pop. I was like, oh, did he catch it? And our first baseman starts running in with his hand in the air because he caught the ball. Like, it was a line drive straight up, and he caught it. And that won the game. I think it was Ethan Maruccio.
Oh yeah,
he caught it. And it was crazy. It was like, wait, did we actually just win a game? It was like first round playoffs for series. And so ran in, dogpiled. I think we had like one small scrawny kid on our team that was like wasn't good at all. Didn't do anything all season. It was really funny. And I think you went over and grabbed him and then dogpiled because you were like, "Hey, protect this kid. He's a small little kid. I can't let him get crushed."
Yeah.
And so we all dogpiled. It was something else. It was really funny.
It was. And I think we lost the very next game and the season was over. But we had that one win and it was epic. You know, it was like this great thing. And I'll never forget too, you played that season and I gave you the opportunity to pitch. And the first time you went out there, you struck out the first 3 guys. I stood there and then I looked at your grandfather and I was like, "Do you see what I see?" And he's like, "Yeah, he can pitch." Yeah, you can pitch all right. You were tall and you could whip it and nobody could catch up with it. You were just blowing it past fastball. That's it. Just throw it fastball. And we thought there could be something here. So the next year, 12U, we're still at OP. And which, by the way, is not the norm. And it goes right in with our Bible verse. God doesn't look at the outward appearance. He looks at the heart. We're playing at OP at 12U, which most kids have left by 8 if they're going to go play travel or anything really competitive.
Yep.
You're there playing, and you start pitching. You're getting better and better at the pitching. You make the all-star team. You're now a shark. I think I may have pulled the Reardons off of their team for just a little bit to play.
The Panthers, they came play a tournament with us.
Yeah. And then we had Grayson Markwall with us. He was good. We also had 2 other twins, the Senzon brothers. That was fun. Yep. You look like their dad in that picture. We got to find that and put that up.
It's a bad picture.
No, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. So, but you played, and then I could see it. You had a desire to want to play the game, and you could see that you had gifts to do it. And so we wanted to engender and foster that ability, and you did. You played it for the next couple of years. And then there was a time when you were in the 8th grade, and I'm coaching at Harrison, and one Saturday morning, I went up and I knocked on your door. What do you remember me doing that morning? What happened?
I remember, I think you mentioned it to me like a week before. You were like, hey, you want to come have a practice for the Harrison squad, like the JV team? And I remember I was like, what? No, I'm not. No, that's too much for me right now. Because I think at that point I was at USA Scout. I want to say.
Maybe.
I think it was at Scout or Titans, one of the two.
Yeah.
And I was just kind of like, I don't really know if I really want to do that.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of nervous. I was just like, I don't know, all these guys are older than me. I don't feel like I should even be here. I'm just going to be comfortable the entire time. I'm not going to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And then Saturday morning comes around and I'm getting woken up like way before I wanted to wake up. But you were like, all right, we're going to go practice. I was like, oh, okay. So went out there. We were on the back turf practicing. I remember doing like dynamic warm up with them. And I was like, all these guys are bigger than me. What am I doing out here? I was like, the entire time I was just questioning, like, why am I really out here? What am I doing here? And then we went down to the cages and hit. And funny enough, it was kind of weird because my very next year when I was there, Luke Griffin, he came up to me when I was my freshman year, and he was like, hey, didn't you like come practice with this last year or something? Because he remembered me from that one practice. And he kind of had a memorable face. I remember seeing him when I was out there as an 8th grader, and I was like, oh, yeah, I was. But it was a really good experience for me because I got to see this is who I'm going to be playing with next year. These are some of the guys that I'm going to be playing ball with for the next couple of years.
Yeah. Well, truth be told, it wasn't my idea to bring you out there to begin with. There might have been a Coach Whiting that was the head coach of that JV team, and I'll never forget him asking me, saying, hey, you think Micah would like to come out here and practice with us? And I said, he'll be so nervous. I don't think he would want to come out here and practice. He said, you got to get him. You got to ask him to come. And I said, okay, I'll do it. I said, I'll knock on his door and tell him to get dressed and let's go. And we got there, and sure enough, he was funny. I worked with the infielders. He went out there with the outfielders on that back turf at Harrison. You guys got a bunch of work in. It was good to see that because you were seeing there's another level, and there's another level to this baseball game. And I think that prepares you exactly for what you just said a minute ago. Your freshman year when you got there, and you knew a couple of guys. Obviously, got to see them.
Yeah.
But you tried out. What's it like trying out as a freshman at Harrison High School? With Mark Elkins as the head baseball coach?
I mean, if I look back at the tryouts from like sophomore, junior, senior year compared to freshman, obviously you're going to have, I was like a lot more nervous because haven't made the team before. Don't really know anybody out there except for the guys that I've grown up going to a class with. So now I'm like out here for my first tryout for Harrison. Super nervous. It was super nerve-wracking. You hear Coach Elkins just yelling, and it's like, oh, what is going on? And you see, I'm seeing guys out here that are like 17, 18 years old when I'm a freshman. I'm like, these guys are gigantic. What in the world? But as freshman, it was definitely an experience because I also had to do the weight conditioning in the fall, and that kind of already prepared me a little bit with like what Coach Elkins was like and the environment of Hoya baseball. Yeah. And then once we got out there for freshman year tryouts, I remember one thing for sure, it was stinking cold.
Yes.
You could wear like, I couldn't wear too many layers because obviously tryouts, I got to perform, I got to do something.
You got to be able to move.
I can't just be like trying to get warm and like do the best I can with like 3 layers on. Like I gotta stay warm. Yeah. And I think freshman year tryouts, I did end up getting, I want to say I got a double actually.
Yeah. It was right center.
Yep. Got a double. I think I pitched fairly well. I tried out for outfield and pitching. And then obviously list came out at the end of tryouts who was on the team, and I saw my name up there, but it was just pitcher. And I was like, no, they had 2 cuts, and I think it was after the first cut, I got put to just pitching, and then I just did pitching for the second half of those tryouts. Yep. And honestly, that was a really big moment that I didn't really realize at the time. That was like, it put me in a world of POs. That's something that's like completely different from everybody else of a position player's world. It's a whole different animal. It feels like it's like there's two sides to baseball, and it's the position players and then there's the pitchers, and it's just because growing up like Oregon Park, travel ball, it's like everybody's just kind of on one team, and it's like, hey, you play pitcher, but you can also play outfield, or you can also play infield or whatever. Yeah. But that was really my first experience with just like you're just gonna go out there and pitch, and when you're not, you're just gonna be on the bench watching the game. And honestly, when I first heard that, I was like, I don't know if I really like that. I kind of want to go on the outfield, but throw some balls as hard as I can, get some ground balls and then chuck them to home plate. But once I actually got out there and started experiencing what it was like to be a PO, I was like, you know what? I kind of like this. I'm like, I don't have to touch a bat anymore, because I never enjoyed pitch. I never enjoyed hitting. Like it was, but when I went back and started 11U all the way up to high school, it was just like, I couldn't hit. I tried everything I possibly could, and it just didn't work. I remember spending tons of hours in the cages with you, and then Coach Whiting was also helping me with hitting, and it was just like everything I tried. I think it wasn't even like mechanics wise. It was just like me as a person. Mentally, I was like, I'm not built for hitting. Like this just isn't in my nature to be able to hit. Yeah. Because I'm not really much of an aggressive person. So when it comes to hitting, you got to be aggressive. Yeah. And that's right. I didn't have that aspect to me that you need to be successful in hitting. And so I was like, you know what? I kind of like not having to touch the bat. I can just go out here and throw it across the plate, get some guys out, and go back and sit and watch my hitters do their thing,
Yeah. Well, you made the team your freshman year. You're a pitcher only. You got a lot of innings. You were our number 2 guy, which was great. Jack, what was Jack's last name? I don't even remember Jack's last name.
Robertson.
Jack Robertson was our number 1. He was a sophomore. He'd been our number 2 the year before, which was fantastic. He's our ace. You're coming up behind him. You had to pitch a lot of innings, which, as you know, it's all about getting your innings, getting your reps, being in tight situations and tough things to mold you and shape you and work you through that maturation process. But take me back to a specific game that was a turning point for you. And it was a turning point where it puts you on the map. Because before that, it was, he's our number 2. Yeah, he fills up the zone. He doesn't throw that hard, but, and he gets guys out. But we went to East Cobb because Walton High School couldn't play at their field. They're redoing their field, making it new. And we played them in a doubleheader that night. The first game, we got waxed. They beat us to death, and it was humiliating. So we've got a little bit of break, like 30 minutes between games. We take all the guys to the outfield. You're number 2, guys, so you're heading to the bullpen to warm up, and I'm going out there with the position players, myself, Coach Whiting, and Coach Alex Gonzalez. He was our other coach at the time.
Coach G.
And we're giving a talk to the guys, and you're in there warming up, and you go out to play that game, to pitch that game. What happened that game? What were you thinking in that game, and what was the outcome of that game?
So second game against Walton, that was it was something really, I think it defined me like that. Leading up to that game that season, I kind of was like learning how to be just a pitcher, and it was kind of molding me as a pitcher for like later on in my career. And I think that second game of Walton, when I went out there, I pitched 5 innings. I think this final score was 8-2. We win. And I think the biggest thing that came out of that game wasn't even that, I did amazing, and that I'm like kind of standing out now, like other people recognizing, this guy's a really good pitcher. Is more of just like, it defined me that I'm not going to strike guys out. I didn't have very many strikeouts that game, but I kind of like started that game kind of hyper-focused on just like, all right, got to get warm up. I got to get everything ready. And if I'm being completely honest, I've been told you were yelling like crazy to the guys. I don't remember that at all. I don't remember hearing you yell at all. I just remember, I think it was, I don't remember who was our catcher. I want to say it was like Tyler Hall maybe, or something like that. One of our, whatever catcher was in the bullpen with me.
Yeah.
Me and him were just warming up, and I was hyper focused. It was just me, the ball, my catcher in that bullpen. And I did like warm up the game, and it felt amazing.
Yeah.
Like it was one of those feelings where it's like, oh, this is going to be a good game. I can feel it. But like, I didn't really think that at the time because I was so focused on, all right, let's just get this job done. I'm going to go out here and pitch to the best of my ability. And went out there, pitched through, I want to say it was double hitters, so like 5 innings because it was JV.
Yeah. Yeah.
We won, obviously, I already said that. And, but it kind of defined, after that game, I kind of realized I'm not going to try guys out.
Yeah.
But I can locate around the zone. I can stay in the zone. I'm not going to let guys get a free pass to first base from the walk.
Yeah.
But I can get guys out through ground balls and pop flies. Yeah. And I saw that way of pitching and not just trying to throw it by them, but like actually just, you know what? If they hit the ball, if they get a hit, so be it.
Yeah.
They made a swing that was good. They got him there.
Yeah.
And I made a bad pitch on that.
Yeah.
But it showed that you don't have to throw it past the guy. You just have to get them to get themselves out, which worked out for me in the long run.
Yeah.
And
yeah, it was
once that happened, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go with this style of pitching because I've seen guys try to throw hard, and I'm not a very hard throwing pitcher.
Yeah.
But I just went up against a pretty good team, played amazing, and I didn't really have to strike anybody out for it.
Well, I think there's multiple things to be said there. Number one is in life, whether it's pitching or whatever, we all have got to figure out our niche, our identity, who we are. And that's exactly what you just said. You figured out who you were as a pitcher. It wasn't, I'm trying to be somebody else. I'm not trying to throw 90 plus. I'm going to be Micah Knox. Yeah. I've not been gifted with the ability to throw 95. What I've been gifted with the ability to do is hit a spot, which takes me back to David and Goliath. If you remember, Goliath says, come on, he wanted a fight up close. He's a part of the infantry. David's a part of the artillery, which means it's a guy who stands far off. He knows who he is and throws stuff.
Ranged.
And so David beat Goliath. Micah beat Walton. Why? Because Micah figured out who he is. I don't have to be electric. If I can keep it to sometimes 4 pitches an inning, or if I can keep it to 10 pitches or 12 pitches an inning, guess what? I can get back in the dugout and my guys can hit. And as a hitting coach, that's what I want from our pitcher. Get out, as few pitches as possible, get us back in here as fast as possible. I don't care if you can throw 95 and you strike the whole side out and you go, full count every single batter. You're not helping us, right? And that's exactly what you did. You figured out who you were, you implemented it, and you were successful at it. And you repeated that over and over again. Once we get consistent with who we are and our identity, wow, man, it makes all the world of difference because now you're helping the people around you because you're fulfilling what God's given you to do. And that's exactly what happened in that game. And you're right. It turned you in the direction of, I know who I am. I know how I need to pitch. The other cool part of this is, and this is coming from a hitting coach, at least 70% of the time, hitters are going to fail. At least. Okay, so hello, stupid pitchers out there. Take that statistic, right, and go, well, just let them hit it because 70% of the time, they're going to get themselves out.
Yep.
I don't have to try to blow it past them. And this is the asinine. I might go off on a diatribe for a second, but this is the asinine thought process of Major League Baseball, college baseball, in the D1, D2, high school baseball. It's like, we've got to have somebody electric on the mound. He's got to throw 95. So what? He can walk the house? Because you just do the extremes. You either hit home runs or you walk people. Nonetheless, you figured out who you were. You implemented that. And you were successful, wildly successful that season as a freshman. I loved it. As a coach, watching a player like that, obviously you're my son too, so I'm like, yeah, this is great. Third, you're right. You didn't have to bat anymore. So it was like a burden off your shoulder. Ah, good. But what happens when you came back your sophomore year?
Well, sophomore year I wouldn't say it was my best season of Hawaii baseball.
Yeah.
If I had to say, it was probably my worst. But I didn't even do bad. I just compared to other seasons, it wasn't the better. And so had to go back out and still on JV. Sophomore year, made a JV.
Yeah.
And pitched decently well. Nothing like amazing. I didn't have any crazy games or anything like that. Just kind of went out there, did my job for the most part. But I remember we had a game against McEachern, and got out there, and I don't remember what the reason was. I want to say we were like down by a good bit. I think we were down by a lot, and none of our hitters could really like get anything done. It was like nobody's really getting any hits right now. I'm like, we can't get any base runners. What's going on?
Yeah.
And it was because we had a soft throwing lefty on the mound. Or McEachern did.
Yep.
And our batters just couldn't stay back. They saw it from the left side, so it's like it's already throwing them off.
Yep.
Slow. They can't stay back on it. And so I remember head coach asked you, he was like, hey, he's like, who should we run up there to hit? And I think you, if I remember correctly, you told me that you were like, put Mike out there. And he was like, what? No, I'm not. No, why would I
He's a PO.
Why would I put a PO out there? You know? And so he ended up like, you know what, whatever. I remember you came down to the end of the dugout because that's where I normally stand. I stand for the ends of the dugout because I'm like, I kind of want to focus on the game. And usually when you're closer and you don't focus as much.
Yep.
And standing down there, you come down there and you're like, get warm. I'm like, oh, I'm going in a pitch? And I'm like, I'm confused. And so I'm like, I start stretching out and you're like, oh no, you're hitting. I'm like, what? I'm not supposed to be hitting. I'm not a hitter. I haven't hit in 2 years. And so, get warm. I remember Sarge came down there and he was like, here's my batting gloves and here's my bat. He's like, take this out there. And so I remember putting on batting gloves, putting Garrett on a bat. I'm like, this feels so wrong. What am I doing? Standing out there in the on deck circle, like I'm like, but wait, what do I do out here again? Like, do I swing when he throws the ball, or do I time him up? Like, what am I supposed to do on the on deck circle? Am I getting warm? What's going on? So I'm just kind of like improvising. I'm like, I guess I just don't want to look. I just want to stand here and do nothing. So, I think the batter before me got out. So there's like, I think there was one out.
I'm on first base coaching, so I'm watching the whole thing go down. It was great.
And obviously, as a PO, I didn't pay attention to any of the base running signs. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just not even going to look down there because if I do, I'm not going to understand what he's saying if he is giving me something. So I'm like, all right, whatever. Step in the box. I think I got to a 1-1 count, or it was maybe it's a 2-1 count, something like that.
Yeah.
And soft throwing lefty, he threw me a fastball. It was like low middle, and I just kind of like slapped my hands out there at it, and miraculously I made contact and hit right back up the middle at him.
Yeah.
And I got a base hit. And I'm pretty sure the whole reason that I even got a hit and I did well was because I had grown up in all the travel ball years and OP hitting off you in the cage, and you're a lefty.
Yeah.
And so it's like I was already used to seeing the ball come from that side instead of the right. And I just went out there and I was like, all right, well, I guess we'll try. I'd try my best. And slapped it, got a base hit, and I was standing on first, and I think I was on base, and I don't remember, I think you told me you were like, your signs from the third base coach. I'm like, I don't know what the signs
I don't know
are.
the signs.
So I just, I just like got my lead because we had to do that for conditioning still. So I got my lead. I didn't do anything. Got back on the bag after like 2 pitches or whatever, and then they tossed a pinch runner out there for me, which I was like, thank goodness, get me off this base.
Yeah.
Like I don't belong out here. What am I doing?
Well, from a coaching standpoint, we're told in the Proverbs that we are to watch our mouth, to hold our mouth, and when asked things, then to divulge, right? Begin to speak. And those who keep their mouths shut and don't talk all the time, when they are asked things, have listened quite a bit. We can offer wisdom, right? So Coach Butler asked, he said, we got to get a hit and we need a pinch hitter. He's like, but we don't have any on the bench. And he said, who should we put in to hit? And I'd been watching this guy from the left side, and I said, if he asked me, I'm going to tell him to put Micah in to hit, which you haven't hit in 2 years. But yes, exactly what you just said. You've been hitting off me your whole life. And you knew a lefty, just stay back and go to right field. Just hit it to right field. Don't try to pull the baseball. And we kept telling our guys, stop trying to pull the baseball, but they wouldn't listen. So then when he asked me, and I said, yeah, put Micah in, he looked at me, he's like, what? Are you kidding?
Crazy?
Are you? And I was like, he'll get a hit for you. And he goes, are you serious? And I said, watch him. You put him up there, he'll get a hit. And I said, he'll hit it to right center field. And he goes, okay. You got up, you hit it to right center field, you got a hit. It was great because, Sarge, Cade, Luke, they're all going nuts, just screaming. Yeah. They're like, yeah, this is awesome. And it just kind of fired the team up even more. Yeah. And then we utilized you a couple more times. I think you're still the only guy in that I'm aware of in Harrison history that was a PO, and you ended up batting over 500 somehow. And I was I have no idea.
I was actually 333.
Was it 333?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had I want to say I got 3 more ABs.
That's right. You hit it at Marietta.
I ended up getting put in because our outfielder
had some problems.
Issue. So he got taken out. And Coach Butler was like, you know what, send Micah out there because he played outfield once, and then he got a hit that one time. So I guess he must be halfway decent at the plate. Yeah.
That was a kooky game, by the way. Coach Seed chunked.
Oh, yeah,
he was out behind you in
Coach
left
Seed
field.
Was out there like, yeah, Micah. I'm like, I look back, I'm like, oh wait, Coach Seed's out there. But I had like 3 ABs, and I think I walked my first AB, I believe, or maybe my second one.
Yeah, one of those.
And then I also got I grounded out and I struck out, which I wasn't very upset that I struck out or I grounded out because I was like, well, hey, one of them I hit the ball, which I'm happy about that. And the other one, I mean, I just haven't been hitting in forever, so it's okay.
Right.
But the walk, I think I ended up making around all the way and I scored.
Wow.
And I ran the bases on that. I didn't get any steal signs or anything because I didn't even know if I did or not. Yeah. I did end up scoring. I was like, what? So 33.
That season, you did. You pitched. It was a good season where you got a lot of innings. Again, you're sticking to your identity. You're a guy who's going to make guys roll over it, ground balls, or get underneath it, fly balls. Either one. And then you come back your junior season, and you make the varsity. You have a little bit of different role. Talk to us about that new role that you had as your junior season rolled around.
Junior year, that was probably my little goofy season, I guess. It felt a little different than what I was used to freshman and sophomore year with going out there once a week as a starter. Yeah. And so made the team, but we already had, we had 2 starters that had already been on varsity, and then our third one, we had Colin, Grant, and Holman. And so I think that was Colin's first year.
Yeah, I think so.
Grant had been on varsity the year before, so this was his second year on varsity, and then Holman had also been on varsity that past year, so that was his second year too. Right. So I was kind of back there is just kind of this oddball, where do we use him at? What do we do with him? Because I had been starting for 2 years, and so they ended up, we're going to use him in the bullpen, see what he can do. And I got run out there multiple times. I think I ended up having 18 appearances. Yeah. In a single, I think it was in the record books or something 18.
You're right.
Appearances in a single season for a pitcher.
Yeah.
Which starting you're not going to get that many. But I ran out there for 1 or 2 innings at a time.
Yeah.
And it was consistently 1 inning.
Yeah.
It was just all right, our starter made us through 5. We got 7 innings to play, so we're going to toss Mike out there for 1, and then we'll toss Craig out there for that last one, because Craig just comes in there and pumps gas in the zone, and we're out of there.
Well, it is pretty amazing, too, because you think about, we play 40 games in a season, and you're out there 18 appearances. No other pitcher's getting that much time.
Yeah.
Each almost every game, every other game, you're coming out to pitch. And, Coach Story gave you that opportunity, and you capitalized. You went out and you threw strikes, and that's what he wanted, throw strikes. And you really fell into a new identity at that point, which was a bridge guy. Yep. We would have our starter. He would get us a certain number of innings. Where's Micah? Get him loose. He's going to get us those extra little, middle innings, and then we're going to get Craig in to come in and blow cheddar and finish the game. And so that was a different role for you. You know, and here's the thing. I've said it before on this podcast. If you're going to be successful in life, it's those who are willing to be adaptive. You've got to be willing to adapt. You can't just get in one mold and say, this is the only way I'm going to function. You've got to be willing, because those people who are maladaptive don't make it very far. It's those who also have a plasticity. What I mean by that is you're able to learn new things. You're able to embrace new things. But the thing that stood out to me was that season you were humble, as you've been every season, humble, yet you put in the hard work. You were working behind the scenes because you knew if I get the opportunity, I need to throw strikes. Yep. You had a good, pretty decent defense behind you. Yeah. If we go back and remember the Carrollton game, you let the guy hit it. This dude was going to the University of Georgia to play football.
Oh, yeah.
He hit it.
Big guy.
I think it was like 400 feet to left field. I mean, this is the biggest field to left. It was an
absolute moonshot. But it was up there in the corner, and it had so much hang time that Carter Mallory was able to run it down in the corner and snag it.
Mallory did 2 double drops to get that ball.
Oh, yeah.
He did 1 double drop, and then he's like, it's the other way. Double drop again, and was so far back there. But again, you said, hey, Goliath, guess what? You're going to try to hit a missile, a bomb off of me. I'm David. Here you go. And he got out.
Yep.
So again, amazing to see how you were being used repeatedly. Then you come back for your senior year, and I'll set the stage. We had Colin White, Grant Largen, were our starters from the year before, had done really well. We're excited. Hey, we're going to go far. We've got these 2 guys. Colin's injured that season, but we didn't know that at first. So it's these 2 guys. We got White, Grant, and then the thing that was said repeatedly was maybe Nick Yarbrough will be our third.
Yeah.
He'll be our third starter. Okay, well, we're starting preseason, beginning of the season. That was the thought process. Colin's injured. Grant gets injured. What now? Well, the guy who'd been the bridge guy from last year and the guy who spent 2 years on JV, just humble and hard work, putting in his time, is now we're going to give him the opportunity to see if he can start on the varsity level.
Yeah.
Again, man looks on the outward appearance, but God looks on the heart. I can't stress that enough to so many people, just in general, but Christians in particular. God's ways are not our ways. His ways are higher than our ways. That's what the Bible tells us in Isaiah. You get the opportunity that season. What did it look like for you?
Well, it was kind of new because it's like I spent my last Harrison season, my junior season, kind of just like 1 inning, 2 inning, whatever. And then I came out for I had travel ball that summer and that fall, and I was a starter again. So it was like I had to get used to going from that 1-2 inning position over back to like this 5 inning slot where you're like, hey, we need you to go out there for multiple innings, go long. And so had to get back into that groove of being able to do that like once a week instead of 1-2 innings every couple of days.
Yeah.
And so I started to get used to that again. I was like, hey, maybe I have a chance starting. I'm like, there's kind of like a spot for that third one, but I'm not sure who they're going to toss out there for it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to chill. I'll do what I need to do to have a good opportunity to be able to start. That fall, we just had all the conditioning that we did. Coach Whiting was running like a pitcher's conditioning stuff. Rough. It was rough stuff. Yeah. But it definitely improved everybody for our pitching staff. As far as like their endurance and just mental toughness in general. And so went out there for our season to start, and I think they tossed me out there to start a game against East Paulding. It was one of our GGC
up at Lake Point
tournaments, our Georgia Dugout Club, GDC. And so I get out there. I think I went like 3 or 4 innings. I didn't have a great start. It was like my first start on varsity, so I was just like extra nervous,
Yeah.
And
actually, was it South Forsyth? I think it was South Forsyth that you pitched against.
Oh, yeah, because East Paulding was the second one.
Yeah, because you dominated on East Paulding.
Yeah, so we had South Forsyth that first one.
Yeah.
Didn't do amazing. My pitches weren't really working very well, so I was kind of upset about that. And Coach Whiting talked to me once I was done. He was like, "Hey, you're okay. I know this is your first start on varsity.
Mm-hmm.
We know what we need to work on now, and we can get you back out there next weekend, and you can show them what you got then."
Yeah.
So spent that whole week working on. When we played South Forsyth, I just had a fastball and a changeup, and the changeup wasn't even working 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like I was a 2-pitch guy for that game, and it didn't go very well, obviously. Yeah. But got back out there for second start. I got another opportunity, and got a start against East Paulding, and I think I went like 5 innings. I got my slider working. I spent that entire week. I remember it's actually funny. I had never seen Coach Whiting do this before, but he went out there and grabbed a glove. And I was like, this is like 2 days before I started. He went over there and grabbed the glove, came out there with me, and he's like, "All right, I want you to throw this softball with me." And I was like, "What? This is not gonna help." And so I'm like trying to throw a slider with this softball, and it just felt so funky. But it was actually moving when I throw with a softball, and I was like, "Why does it work? Like, why is it actually working?" But did that. He's like, "Did you feel that? And let's try the baseball." So we tried the baseball, and it actually moved like a lot, and it like felt good. I was like, "Oh, okay." So I got a good feel for it when I back out there for East Paulding. We ended up winning that game. So I kind of got like my first win on the record for varsity, and that kind of set me up in a good position to keep going. I don't remember what our game after that was. I want to say
I don't remember.
I don't remember who I started against next, but had a couple starts, pretty good, built up more momentum, and then I think the game that really started the prime part of my season, or prime part of that senior season, was playing against Pope. Crazy game. I remember it's funny thinking back. Like that whole day before, because we had school that day, obviously. And so we had a weight training class in second period. I was in there, and I just remember all these guys being like, "Hey, you ready to pitch tonight?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm good." And they're like, "Good luck, man. Don't die." And they're like, everybody's sounding like, "Oh, you're gonna get destroyed." They've got a D1 commit for FSU, and he's gonna take you yard every single AB and all this stuff. And everybody's just talking a big game, because I think Pope was ranked like number 5 in the state at that point in the season. And so it was like, obviously that's a lot of pressure. Like you're an unranked team, and you have to go play against a number 5. And obviously like nobody's expecting you to do well, but I had pressure on myself to do well. I was like, I got to do well. I can't like let this go.
Yeah.
Because it was a gigantic opportunity for me.
Yeah.
And so get out there, and it was just like the Walton game all over again. It was like, I went out there for my bullpen, and it was just like me, the ball, the catcher. And it was like, it's like this crazy world of the fans go away, everything goes away. It's just you and like the field and the players. And crazy game. I would say I had like a routine. Like I'd go out there and I pitched the first inning. I don't remember what spot. I think it was Stutzer. Right?
Yeah.
I don't remember what spot. I think it was like the 2 or 3 hole.
May have been leadoff, I think.
Was he leadoff?
Yeah, I think he was.
I think he was.
Yeah.
He got out there, and I think it was the first debut of the game. I'm like, all right, this is going to kind of set things up. 2 pitches in, triple down the line. I was like, oh no. Because he was like insanely fast. Or no, it wasn't down the line. It was in the
it was right center gap.
Yeah, right center gap all the way to the fence.
Yeah.
It was like, he literally hit it, and it was just like on a line across the field. Like it was insane. It was crushed. I was like, well, that's not a good way to start the game. It's like, I gotta change something. So got through the inning. I don't think he even ends up scoring. I think we stopped that guy. He got a triple. He was on third the entire time. I don't even think he scored that inning. And he might I think he might have, actually.
I don't know. I can't
Something
remember.
like that. Go out there. It's a crazy game. Kind of had a routine, go out there, pitch the inning. Did decent. I think I ended up letting up 2 runs for that whole game, but got through that. Each inning I'd come in, I had the same spot on the bench where I put my glove, and then I'd go stand at the same spot in the fence. I was like a super superstitious baseball guy in that game. Like when I get into grooves like that, I become really superstitious. I don't know why.
You're like a robot.
It's just like I have the same thing I do every time. It's like, okay, glove, grab my jacket, put it on, go over to the bench, stand in this spot, and that's where I'm at for the inning until I'm going back out there to pitch another one.
Yeah.
So get through the game, going to the last inning. I remember I was like the 6th inning, and Whiting comes in there. He's like, "Hey, how's your arm feeling?" He's like, "Yeah, got one more inning." And I was like, I feel it feels pretty good. I'm a little tired, but
yeah,
I still got gas in me. And he was like, "All right, you got one more inning. Let's do this thing." And so go back out there. Last play of the game, they hit a little blooper. I think the score at that time was like 5-2.
Mm-hmm.
Hit a little blooper. There's nobody on, and Luke Hudson was at short, and he made a great diving play, caught the ball. It was unreal. Everybody was like going crazy because I just threw a complete game against the number 5 team. We're unranked. And
yeah.
Again, it was like the Walton game. It's like it's so unreal.
Yeah.
It's like you just don't even like realize how big it is until after the game's already over. Like everybody's gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what in the world?
It's a real moment for you. But you went on to do that. How many complete games did you throw that season?
I think I ended up throwing 5.
5. Wow,
Yeah.
that's incredible. You not only are a guy who's in the record books at Harrison for a number of appearances. There's another stat that's not on the board, and this is from your sophomore year. You pushed a complete game, 3 innings with 27 pitches against Marietta. This was on JV. And then you go to varsity. You have the 18 appearances in a season, and then you get up there and you do 5 complete games, which I had not seen in my tenure at Harrison as a coach or a player. Nobody did it. There's just no way. You can't do that. But the cool thing about the fact that you knew your identity to be able to get guys to hit ground balls and pop-ups is there's also a team aspect to this. Micah Knox is not successful unless his players make the defensive plays. So it's not as, look at me, I'm king of the world because I struck out 11 guys. No, it's, guess what? My team won tonight because they made the plays. I just threw strikes, ground balls, pop-ups, double plays. We did the whole thing. We did it together. And I think that's where that Pope game, again, was another Walton game, puts you on the map. It builds confidence in you, builds confidence in the team. Like, hey, we can do this. Right. And if he's on the mound, we really can do this because we're going to make the plays and we're going to hit because we're going to be back in that dugout fast. We're not going to be sitting out here forever in the cold watching somebody throw ball, right? And I hate that. I can't stand it. So with that being said, you carried us the rest of that season. You and Gursky threw the ball really well. And then we get to the playoffs, and both of you guys gave a 1-2 punch. You know, you have a 3-game set, but we didn't really need a 3-game set because 1-2 punch with you and Gursky carrying us along the way. We play Archer first.
Yep.
You pitch.
Game 1.
Yeah.
Game 1 I pitched. If I'm being honest, I didn't have all my stuff.
No.
I didn't play amazing.
It was a different Micah.
And I think it was just that playoff atmosphere. Like first, I had that same thing with like the first varsity start back in February.
Yeah.
And then I got the same thing again, kind of like the extra nervousness because it was first round of playoffs now. So now it's like you got to win or else you're done. Like you're gone. And this was my final stuff. Like this, once this is over, you're done with Harrison.
Yeah.
And so go out there, didn't have great stuff. I was super disappointed with myself. I'm like, dang it, dude.
Yeah.
But my team had my back. And ended up 9-9 into the game. Yeah. Cade Reardon gets up there. It's a walk-off bomb. I was like, hold on. Did one of my best friends just hit a walk-off bomb? I'm like, okay. One, I'm super happy for him. And, it's just great for the team overall. Yep. 2, I'm never gonna hear the end of this. I'm like, he's gonna be talking about this till the day he dies. And but I was happy for him nonetheless.
Yeah.
And unreal moment. Get out there game 2 and Gursky just dealt it. He performed really well on the mound.
He did.
I think he had like 5 innings, and then we brought in Hutchinson, and then I think Kimmy might have pitched an inning
Maybe.
too.
Yeah.
But the second game was just a really clean cut game, I think.
Yeah.
Mostly due to the ending of game 1 kind of set the tone for game 2, and they were just Archer was just dead for the whole second game. They're like, there's no coming back from that. Like that killed all our momentum at all. Because they actually had some momentum coming up to the end of that game because they're like, oh, it's a tie game.
Yeah.
We have a good chance of winning.
Yeah.
And then that walkout bomb killed everything and changed the whole thing. And really, half of the reason we succeeded through that first round was just because not only did our pitchers do well, but our hitters had the pitchers back.
Yeah.
Because like obviously I didn't do very well, but the hitters had our back through that entire game. Then second game, hitters they just did their job, just like our pitching did. I think just overall game 2, team as a whole just performed and executed what they needed to do to win the game.
Yeah, you're right. Well, and we won that series. We go on to the next series. You pitch again. You do well. Yeah, which, I think that's one of the things where you kind of have to think about how your faith plays into your ability on the mound. Because you can't ride the emotional roller coaster of baseball, because it isn't a roller coaster of emotions, because you go from pitching really well consecutively in a row, and then you don't have as good a game against Archer, but you come back and you're ready to go for the next one, and it's another outing, and you're going to do, and you did well, really well, right? But it's your faith that my true identity is in Christ. Your sister's Bible verse, for you have died and your life is hidden with Christ in God. My true life is in Christ.
Yeah.
So no matter what's happening in baseball, no matter what's happening in business, no matter what's happening with my grades, no matter what's happening, period, in life, my true identity that keeps me on an even keel, or as Coach Elkins used to always say, being a steady Eddie. Steady Eddie. He's the guy who always wins the game. Steady Eddie. It's true. If your confidence and your identity is in Christ, you're going to have highs and lows, but neither the high nor the low is going to kill you. The congratulations won't take you too high, and the criticism won't take you too low, because there's this equilibrium that you have, and his name is Christ. He keeps you there and keeps you balanced. So you have a great game. You play another, series, West Forsyth, right? Yeah. We have an incredible game there. You pitch well. We dominate. We come back and win a game number 2.
Yeah.
And then you go from a high to where we've got to play state championship team, the team that goes on to win state, Walton. Yeah. And everybody's praying, Micah, can you please have another sophomore year Walton game? But let's be honest, their pitching was superior to our hitting. We just couldn't hit Highland. What's it?
Yeah, Highland Brown.
His changeup, which I would argue is the most disgusting pitch in baseball. His changeup, conversely to his fastball, was disgusting, and we couldn't make the adjustment, and he dominated. And then they came out with a lefty, and he just dealt, and we get beat. And it's your final game. Yeah. The wild part of this whole thing was it was the Elite Eight at Harrison against Walton, which had happened in 1997 when I was the starting pitcher for the first game against Walton. I gave up a home run, and we lost. Josh Gurnett and Tom Gurnett, wonderful guy. I'm still friends with him, but Josh was his son. He hits a home run, we lose. And so we lose that game against Walton last year at Harrison. Again, it was one of those where it was like, I've been there in your shoes. But the Lord also opened up some other possibilities for you to continue your career. And so tell us a little bit about where you're at now and what's going on.
So finished up Harrison, and that last game I ended up having coach from Oglethorpe come over and watch, because he was trying to figure out when he could come watch. I was like, well, we got playoffs going on right now. This is like our last game, or could be our last game. So he came and watched, and after some back and forth talk with him, and went on a visit. I think it was like a couple of days after school ended. So school ends, went on a visit. I liked it. I was like, this is a good opportunity for me.
Yeah.
Had to make a choice between KSU, just going to KSU and do some school, or if I wanted to go out to Atlanta, Brookhaven, Atlanta, and go play some baseball for college. Yeah. And so ended up getting that opportunity. So about to start the season in about a month or so, a little less. So I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
But
yeah, well, they have a great field down there. It's a wonderful field. Brookhaven's a great area. You're doing a physics degree with a dual engineering degree with Georgia Tech.
Yes.
So you're going to be busy academically, but also you're about to be busy athletically. And I'm happy for you. I know this is a great opportunity to get to play at the next level, get to see it. And it's a different level when you get up there. No matter where you're at, what you're doing, guys are good. They're good ball players. And now you're getting to play against guys that are now 20, 21 years old. Some guys who are 22 or 23 who've been there for a while with medical red shirts and all that kind of other stuff. But yeah, I'm thrilled that you're getting that opportunity. You're a freshman, obviously, so it's an entry point into the school. But it looks like Hogwarts, I think, is what they would say.
Yeah,
it's a castle-esque.
It's like a Harry Potter-looking school.
Yeah,
it's very interesting. All the buildings are pretty old, for the most part, except for the science one, which is actually nice because that's kind of the physics thing. So I'm like, well, hey, my classes are mostly in the nice buildings, so I'm happy about that. But it's got a whole lot of schooling going on right now, and it's going to stay like that.
Yep.
No matter where I go, because I'm trying to do engineering.
That's right. But
it's a good opportunity because I'm getting to play baseball, but I'm also working towards that degree that I really want.
That's good.
So
that's good.
It's a great
opportunity. It's a great opportunity for you. I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of the year brings as far as the baseball. You get to travel a little bit. I think you guys are going to Texas. You're going to Kentucky. You're going to Tennessee. You get to travel around a little bit. And I think you get to go play Ben Conley.
Oh, yeah.
Coming
over
up.
At Piedmont.
Yes.
He's going to come to us, and we're going to go over.
Yeah. So that's going to be that'll be fun. You get to play against an old Hoya. Well, thanks for taking some time just to talk about what's been going on, what you've been doing. And, again, Scripture tells us, 1 Samuel 16:7, do not look on the outward appearance, for the Lord looks on the heart. And we all have to remember, no matter what's going on in life, whatever's happening, whatever it may look like, God doesn't always go by the externals. God's going to go with the heart. And I've said it a million times, stay humble, stay hungry, do the hard work. Get after it. Wherever you're at, whatever it is, academics, baseball, life in general, be consistent, and that's what you are. And you're a quiet leader who just works hard. You've never been the loudest guy in there. You've had friends that have fulfilled that role for you plenty of times. But stay humble, stay hungry. And again, the Lord will bless the work of your hands when you do that consistently day after day. So, well, thanks for taking the time with me. I really appreciate it. Anything else you can think of that you want to talk about, discuss, or even say before we close this thing out?
Not much. So one thing for this past fall, Obviously we had baseball going on, met some cool guys,
Yeah.
started to make some friends over the school, and something really big that I've seen or that I've been a bit a part of is there's a guy on the team for Oglethorpe. His name's Nate Murray.
Yeah.
He's a big Christian guy.
Yeah.
Loves God, always spreading the word,
Yeah.
always talking about him.
Yeah.
And he's always inviting the team. Like he'll send a group text out to the whole team. Like every week he's like, "Yo, come to Bible study or come to SCA or we got like a small group meet up at like on Tuesday nights. You come to those."
Nice.
And he pulled me and Casey Turner, which is one of my good friends over there at Oglethorpe. He's pulled me and him together, and he's also been like, "Hey, let's go like talk about like God and stuff." And like he's been a really big light for everybody else on the team, including me and Casey.
Yeah.
Because it's like it's a liberal arts school, so you're not going to get a whole lot of stuff with Christianity, and it's small.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't see a whole lot of that.
Yeah.
Coming from honestly any college, but
Yeah.
He puts in a lot of time into that, and me and Casey really appreciate it. And so he's been very influential on me and Casey because we go to a lot of that like Christian stuff.
Yeah.
And it's a whole lot better because like you golf on your own. Like I moved out, and so it's like
Yep.
live on your own. You gotta do your own stuff.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
spend your own time with like reading the word and things like that.
Yeah.
And he's pulled me and Casey in a whole lot with that.
Yeah.
So it's been great.
That's a blessing.
Yes.
You know, when you go off to school, it's kind of what, you know, a guy sitting in that seat not so long ago, Craig Kalkbrenner said, you know, you leave from Harrison and it feels like you're in this like wonderful bubble. It's a utopia. You know, you got all these wonderful people around you. You got a lot of people are Christians. So it's a Christian community, as it were. And you got to leave, and then you've got to own your faith. Is it really yours, or is it mom and dad's faith? Is this something I really believe? And I love what you just said, is that this guy has pulled you guys together. Proverbs 18:1 says, "He who isolates himself seeks his own destruction." Wherever we're at, we need community. We're made in God's image and likeness, and God is 3 in 1. He has community in himself, but he also makes us in his image, which means we need community. We've got to have other believers. We got to have other people in our life that build us up, that strengthen us. So I am thrilled to hear that and appreciate him and the other ones. I think you guys have made a couple of visits to some churches and stuff, and that's been great to hear that as well. But you'll need that too as you travel. Maybe Coach at Oglethorpe can deem him the traveling chaplain for the team. Maybe he can have the Bible studies on Sundays and whatnot. That'd be great. But I'm so happy to hear that. The Lord will obviously bless his work, and then he's also an engineering major, isn't he? So he'll be moving on to tech.
This is his last year at Oglethorpe. So once this semester's over, he's going over to Georgia Tech, which I know for sure he's going to be continuing to be very involved in FCA and BCM and all that.
Yeah. Well, somebody's going to have to carry the stick for him and pick it up. And, you know, we'll see how the Lord structures that. But, you know, the Stormy Petrels definitely need somebody who's spreading the word and encouraging the brothers on the team. So very thankful for him. And, you know, Casey as well. He's another great guy that obviously I've been able to spend some time with and get to meet and talk to, and what an encouraging guy he is. I'm rooting for those Petrels this year. They've got some good things going for them, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen. Might be a big turning point for this program. Who knows? We'll see what the Lord's got. But, you know, there's some cool things, too, that you got all these different movies that are shot at Oglethorpe, which is kind of wild, I'm sure, if you're there on campus.
It's pretty cool. We had, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, I was walking back from the cafe because I was eating dinner. Walking back, and I'm like, I can't get through the door to go to my room, like to walk down the walkway to get to my room. I'm like, what is in there? I'm like, there's all these people standing there. I'm like, what's going on? They were like filming a movie in like a dorm room, like literally like 3 doors down from my room. I'm like, guys, I can't get to my room. They're like all these lights, and me and Casey were walking together, so we like opened the door, and the person turned around, they're like, shh, like, be quiet. I'm like, what? Like they're in the middle of shooting a movie, like in my room, and then also something really cool is watching the new Stranger Things
Yeah.
that came out. Like the very end of the episode, they're like talking about one of the characters, like where he ends up for like after the whole like monsters and everything is gone. And they say he's like going to college, like going to school, because he's like a super smart character or whatever, like super brainiac or whatever. And he's like sitting at a table, right? And I'm like, that room looks familiar. And then he's like walking, and then he runs out the building. I'm like, that building looks familiar too. And then I didn't really think much of it at the time. I didn't really realize what it was. And then a couple days later, I see a video online, and it was like they would hold up like the picture of like in the movie or in the show, and then they like out on the campus. I'm like, wait, so part of Stranger Things was shot at my school? It's pretty cool because it's like they shoot some small stuff that you don't really even like realize, and then you see it later on. You're like, oh, that's where it was, like at my school.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool because you get like an inside scoop on some stuff too.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. Well, thanks for spending some time with me. I know you're got a busy season and you're about to head into a really busy season, but thanks for taking the time, and thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate it. We're praying for you. Please pray for us. If you'd like to support the podcast, take a look at the link in the description below. And yes, we need multiple exposures to the gospel. Think on these things. God bless.